What's up, everybody? This is Quixote, the producer from On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, joining us here on episode 114. Thea Hail wins the women's NXT North American title. We got to give you our thoughts on Cena and Gunther, and also the Usos. Are they hot anymore, or are we just waiting for them to go away forever? This is episode 114 on the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
This is the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Kick back and hang with your hosts, Quixote, Lewis, and Joel. Let's mark out.
Welcome to the show. Episode 114 of On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Yo, I gotta correct you before you keep going. It's actually 115.
Oh, 150.
Yeah.
115.
It's all right. We're in the holiday spirit.
I'm in the holiday spirit. I got my Santa hat on.
We ready for vacation already. That's what
I'm ready.
Y'all might have had too much sippy on that eggnog, huh?
Too much. I didn't even have no sippy. This is the crazy part. No sippy yet. 115. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Joel, for correcting me, man. I don't want to get the people messed up out there. Welcome to the show, y'all. Fellas, it is we are creeping up on the holiday season here. Christmas is coming up, and we're celebrating on the Mark Wrestling Podcast, the last show before the new year. Fellas, how y'all guys doing, man? Joel, what's going on with you, man? How you doing, bro?
Man, I am excited to talk some wrestling with the fellas.
Yeah.
It's been a while since the three of us have been together, so I'm excited to talk some graps. Last episode of the year, so let's go out with a bang.
Come on, Lewis. What you up to, man?
Likewise, man. It's been a wonderful year of just recording great content, interacting with the internet wrestling community on social media, and this is how we're going to cap it off. This is the culmination of all the hard work. I mean, I'm saying culmination, but we're going to obviously continue. But yeah, man, we're just going to celebrate all the accomplishments and things like that, and hope for another great 2026.
Listen, man, give it up for us, yo. So, first of all, we've been doing our thing on this podcast, man. Trying to get our schedules together, having three people on this podcast. Luckily, we got three, because if one drops, we got two. We always got some show coming to you folks.
Yes,
so,
sir.
thank you for joining us and sticking with us, and thank you for everybody who has followed and commented. We appreciate y'all here at On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. But let's get into it, because we had probably a great way to end the year, y'all, in my opinion, with probably the botch of the year. And this is the botch of the year because it involved the changing of a title. That's why. So Thea Hail on NXT, and here at On the Mark, it's not that we don't rock with NXT. We just don't dive into too much NXT. But this was something we need to talk about. Thea Hail wins the Women's North American Championship on NXT. She beats Blake Monroe, which we all know probably wasn't supposed to happen. But she beats her. And she beats her in a really botchy, sloppy way. Apparently Blake Monroe, she had the wind knocked out of her, and that's why she couldn't elevate her arm to get her shoulder off the canvas. And the ref, first of all, clap it up for the ref.
For real.
The ref did his job. I don't want to hear nobody say, the ref shouldn't have done it. If the ref didn't count, that would have been the biggest, worst thing. You can't not count. It's already bad that we've opened the doors to these secrets of the WWE and refs being able to be in communication with the back, and they know the outcome. There's too many eyeballs now. We all knowing now. If the ref didn't count, he looked stupid, and he counted, and I had to give it up for him. Fellas, what are your thoughts on this Thea Hail of it all? Lewis, what you think, man?
I gotta say, this is probably the first time as a wrestling fan where I'm applauding a botch because I was bewildered, I was shocked, and I was entertained all at the same time. I looked at it and I was like, "Oh, great! Here we go, another fucking botch in the women's division in WWE." I mean, how many of these can we have in a year already? And I'm not saying that it happens every week, but it almost feels like it's more commonplace now more than ever, especially on like live national television. But this one was different for the fact that the title fucking changed hands. They had to call an audible for the title to change hands on the spot because you can't really explain that to the live audience. I mean, you can explain it to them better than you can the TV audience because once the camera stopped rolling, whatever. But like, and Thea Hail is, I guess she's selling it as she's so elated to be champion, but she's you can tell she's like legit excited, like holy shit, like that wasn't the plan at all, but what the fuck, like I gotta put on now. I'm the NXT North American Women's Champion. I mean, I think there's okay, first of all, accidents happen, we get it, like things happen, and like Quixote said, shout out to the ref because he was doing his job. I've been reading various reports and seeing multiple clips online. I think the reasoning behind the botch was that when Thea hit that spot, that back body splash off the springboard, she landed awkwardly and might have knocked Blake Monroe, not like a concussion, but just knocked the wind out of her a bit.
Yeah.
And that's probably why she struggled to get her upper body up in time. But nonetheless, WWE's got a really good opportunity to make this shit into a kayfabe storyline where Blake Monroe just goes on a rampage like, that was my title, you stole my title. But congratulations to Thea Hail. She better take advantage of this opportunity, even if it's like a 1 week reign. The first thing I said is, what the hell? What the hell?
Yeah, man, it's wild, man, crazy. Joel, what did you think of it, man? Oh, you're on mute.
My bad, fellas.
Yeah, there you go.
Look, there goes that eggnog again.
I wasn't watching it live. I did catch the clips afterwards, and I saw it, and I was like, I was confused because it seems like it kind of was the plan, but then looking at it, like looking at the replay a little more, you see that she tried to kick out like after the 3 count. It was like it was very close to the 3. Honestly, I think the ref could have gotten away with not counting the 3, but I am happy that he did count the 3 because we've seen it a lot this year actually, where the ref will stop themselves. We've seen it in AEW actually. And I know we all love AEW here, but I've seen it multiple times where the ref will be like, "Oh, that's not the finish," and they'll stop themselves. And, and the whole crowd, it just takes everyone out of the engagement of like, because we all as wrestling fans, we all know it's predetermined. We all know the outcome, and we know that the referee knows the outcome as well. But when we see that the shoulders are still on the mat and they don't count that 3, it immediately takes everyone out of the match. So I'm glad the ref went through with it. I hope he doesn't get like any reprimanding or anything like that, because I think at the end of the day, it's up to the wrestler to get that shoulder up. Right?
Exactly.
So Blake Monroe, like Lewis said, maybe it turns into a great storyline. She could say, "You stole my belt. You it wasn't supposed to happen." Whatever. I hope they keep it kayfabe though. Don't like Quixote said, don't give us too much of like, oh man, that wasn't supposed to, like, because then you're weird. You're in a weird like blurred lines of like reality and kayfabe. Like, I don't want that. So hopefully they like Lewis said, let's keep this maybe a short run. The only thing that I can say is a negative out of this outcome is that I think Thea Hail was getting built up to one day be the one to dethrone either Blake Monroe or maybe the NXT Women's Championship.
Right.
So it kind of does take a little bit of the wins out of that. Like she won't get that like crowning championship moment at like a PLE or whatever. But it kind of reminds me of like an old school Mick Foley style run where, nobody expects them to win. They win. And now they're just like this hyper character that has the belt for a little bit. and then eventually they just get beat down, and she could get built up all over again. So best outcome, she's the new champion.
Yeah.
Congrats to Thea Hail. But yeah, I think the referee did the right choice, man. You got to count to 3.
Yeah, you got to count to 3, and let me and you know, I listened to Tommy Dreamer, and Tommy Dreamer was saying that Blake Monroe should have kicked out, not the arm, but she had ample room to kick out.
Mm-hmm.
And if she kicked out, that would have been a more physical movement, better physical movement to give the ref that gesture of like, okay, I see she's trying to kick out. But the fact that she just raised an arm, which didn't take her shoulder technically off the mat,
true.
The ref
That's
was
true.
just like, listen. And listen, the refs are probably, after the whole SmackDown thing with Nia Jax and all that,
Oh yeah,
the refs are probably told, listen, it is the wrestler's job to kick out. You can't kick out for them. So if they don't kick out, and that's the point, I don't know if you guys noticed, but now, you know, refs back in the day, like if you watch old wrestling, refs are just counting from anywhere on the mat, right? They were just wherever, they were just counting. Now they slide over to the wrestler who's being pinned to be near their ear and their face. So they're counting 1, 2, 3, so they can be aware that they're doing it. And this ref did that. And Blake still didn't physically move enough. So the ref did his thing. But I like it. And like you guys said, you know, like Joel, you make a good point. This probably took the sale or the I guess that big moment from Thea. She'll have another moment. It probably won't be as soon, but I think she'll have another moment where it's big. But it does take a little bit of like that joy from it a little bit. But I hope, like Lewis said, I hope they make this a story. They were given a story on a platter.
Yeah, honestly.
Make this something. Make this something. But again, I don't know if I have that much hope in WWE. I just don't know. But maybe because the Cena thing is over, maybe they might have some more time to get into it. And speaking of the Cena of it all,
oh boy,
we had Cena's retirement match on Saturday night's main event, big event, appointment viewing.
Yeah,
we stopped everything to watch the show from front to back, and we got a okay match. Okay, meaning we kind of all knew what was going to happen. We kind of all kind of sensed it. We knew what was going to happen. And the match was okay in that sense where I started to believe for a second Cena might pull this out. He might pull this off. They might swerve us.
Yeah.
WWE might swerve us. But they didn't. And your boy Gunther went over, rightfully so, for a lot of reasons. Rightfully so. And that crowd went Hollywood Hogan on Triple H. They went heel. They turned on your boy H. H is coming out smiling. He's shocked. If you look at Triple H, right behind him is Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels hears them booing Triple H, and Triple H looks back at Shawn, and Shawn's cracking up. Shawn is laughing. He turns on H himself. Fellas, Saturday night's main event was just okay. I did like the So Ruka showed out. She was, super athletic, extremely marketable. Bailey doing what Bailey does, putting the women over and making them look good. Bailey, again, we might have to go. To start the year, we might have to do top 5 women of all time, because Bailey, I think, makes my list easily. She's an ambassador for the industry, and she needs to be taken care of. But that's a whole other thing. But fellas, Saturday night's main event, Cena, Gunther, the retirement tour. What do you grade? On top of that, what do you grade this run? I grade it a D. I give it a D. That heel turn and after was complete trash. the farewell Cena stuff. Okay, I enjoyed some of it, but the matches were just okay to me. I had to give it a D. It just did not live up to what I thought this was going to be. The Saturday night's main event the final hoopla of it all, the celebration is a video package, and Triple H coming up on to the apron and giving Cena a hug, and people just coming out to the ring and clapping. There was no speeches. There was no like, Cena, we love you. I just was expecting a little more for the guy who led the company for 20 plus years. I just was expecting a little more from a celebration. Fellas, what did you think? Joel, where were you at with the scene of it all, man?
If we're grading the whole retirement run, then I gotta give it a D, maybe even an F. Honestly.
Whoa.
Honestly, like, because it, man, like think about it. Think about it. We had 36 days. You couldn't book 36 days in a good way. Like it's not like you had, like, you knew ahead of time the exact dates that he was going to be available, and you still couldn't tell a story. Like that's like a layup. That's a layup, bro. I'm sorry. I know I'm not a booker. I know I'm not in the writer's room, but to me that sounds like a layup. You knew in advance this guy was retiring. He gave you the days. He gave you the cities. All you had to do was fit him into a story. Very simple. And it could be the simplest story of John Cena's just beating people all year round, and he's waiting, and he's like, I want to retire. No one can beat me. And then you set up Gunther as the big monster that beats him. Simple. That would have been better than what we got. But they did this whole convoluted heel turn because they wanted a moment. Then they didn't. Then you had Travis Scott help him win his 17th world championship. Like we're gonna look back at this and we're gonna be like, what the hell was this year of WWE?
Yo,
like they're and then they had a falling out with Travis Scott, so now they're never even gonna be able to like use that footage. Probably it's gonna be the record-breaking world title win is lost because you have a falling out with Travis Scott.
Doesn't exist.
And why the hell is Travis Scott involved in the record-breaking world title win? Imagine if when Ric Flair got his 16th world title, I don't know, fucking Elvis came out to help. like that's what it is. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. They did that. Yeah. Whatever. We got past it. He turned babyface on a whim, basically, on a SmackDown before SummerSlam. And now all of a sudden he's super babyface Cena. Everybody loves him. Cool. Then you have this tournament where Cena's not even involved anywhere near it. He never explains anything besides like a video package. The winners decided Gunther. They don't have a promo battle. They don't even meet with each other. They never have a face-to-face. They just go into the match. The match, I'll give him, the match was actually pretty decent. I enjoyed it. It was a classic John Cena style match against the big bad heel, which is what people who love Cena, that's what they love. All three of us, we never really were the biggest Cena fans, but the people who love Cena, they love his matches against Umaga and Tensai and all these people, all the villains of the week that they used to give him and feed him, basically. So I understand that part of it. Gunther is the perfect villain style wrestler for John Cena. The match was pretty good, and I heard a lot of controversy. People didn't like the tap out. I actually really enjoyed the tap out. I thought it was the perfect cap to John Cena's career of his never give up. And finally at the end, he's like, I'm going to give up. I told ya I was leaving. I have nothing else to prove. I'm going to give up. So he tapped out. Perfect swan song to his career.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, like a lot of the internet chatter is them saying like, oh, he should have never gave up. That was his whole thing. But I think people got to realize that wrestling is not reality, right? Like John Cena, the man, is not John Cena, the character.
Exactly.
So yes, his whole thing as John Cena, the wrestler, was never give up, but he's letting go of that. And that's what he was trying to tell us this whole year. I am never going to be the John Cena that you grew up on again. I'm done. So he finally let it go. It's perfect. I'm giving up because I told you my whole career I'm never giving up. So now I'm gonna give up because I am done with this character. Took off the wristbands, took off the bootleg ass sketches that he be rocking. I don't know. That was so funny. That was so funny to me because I'm like, yo, the time honored tradition is the boots. To put the sketchers.
I thought the same thing.
I don't even know what sneakers those were, bro.
I think the sketchers. I don't know.
Air Max.
He couldn't wear the Reebok pumps one last time or something. What? Like, yeah, he didn't even have to unlace them. He just slipped them. Those some old man ass shoes, bro. But yeah, man, I do agree. It was weird because you took the crowd, the air out of the building with that loss, right? Everybody, it was a great reaction. We haven't had one of those since I would say like the Undertaker losing streak moment, where the crowd is just like they don't even know how to react. They just got quiet. Mm-hmm. So I do think that was a great moment. I think what they should have done is let John Cena grab the mic one last time. Let the crowd go home happy, because the crowd was obviously upset. But he could have. That the best thing about John Cena is his promos. He's always been really good on the mic. So we should have gotten that one last like, hey, I know I lost, whatever, but I still want you guys to never give up. Whatever, you could have flipped it. The crowd would have been happy, and then you have the baby faces come out. And Triple H, stay ass in the back because nobody wants to see you right now. Stay ass in the back. Have the babyface come out. I like the whole CM Punk and Cody Rhodes giving them the belts. I thought that was a cool moment too. But yeah, it was awkward for the TV viewing audience because now we just had John Cena staring at a screen, and we were like, how do we like? As a fan, I was like, how do I react to this? I'd rather see John Cena give us like a speech in that moment instead of him just standing there reacting to a video. It was a little weird. I think they kind of botched that part of it. It should have just been, all right, he lost, give him the mic, then the baby faces come out, and then they celebrate him like that. So I would have done it that way, but I do think the match itself was perfect for what a John Cena match is. That's all I got to say for that.
Good points, man. Good points. Lewis, where you at with it, man?
Nah, very well said, my brother Joel. Now, as you were explaining your perspective on it, I kept on nodding my head, and there were some thoughts that were popping up. Like, now that I'm really reflecting on it, the post-match segment was very awkwardly produced. I think I'm gonna agree with Joel. The match was fine for what it was for a John Cena style match. And by the way, I love John Cena versus Umaga Last Man Standing from Royal Rumble 2007. That's a great match. That's actually a classic in my opinion. But on a side note, the match was fine. The tap out felt anticlimactic, but I get it. I totally understand the poetry that they were trying to sell you on, right? Like, this is a guy who was once at the top of his game, widely considered the greatest of all time, but he's an older man. He just can't perform at the same level. So that him giving up was just like, that's it. I've got nothing left to give. I've given you every fiber of my being as a performer, as an entertainer, as a human being. So I'm going out on my own terms. But if we're giving this whole run a letter grade, I'll give it a C.
Generous.
I'm gonna give it a C. I'm not gonna outright give it a D, and I'm gonna tell you why. I got to admit, it wasn't, at least in my mind, it was disappointing. But the thing is, I went into 2025 not knowing what to expect anyway. I just figured he's just going to have a couple of matches, couple of appearances, and it'll be like a shaking hands, kissing babies type of retirement tour. And then that's it. He rides off into the sunset. I didn't really think much of it. But where they fucked up, where it was when they played around with everyone's expectations when they turned him heel. So then you set a whole new precedent for the remainder of this retirement tour because now he's a villain, and now you got everybody excited for that prospect of, oh, this is a guy who was the face of the industry and the company, and but was always a good guy. And now for the first time, we get to see him in all his heel glory. And lo and behold, that's not what we got. So I think that turned me off. That turned everybody else off. And then when they, I guess when they tried to steer the ship, if you will, and turned him back into a baby face, it was like, so then what the fuck was the point of that? And I think at that point, a lot of people were just like, yo, they just fucked everything up. But if I'm going to extract some pros out of this retirement tour, you know, he had the very entertaining program with Dominic. You know, I think that was honestly what redeemed the whole retirement run. If I'm being honest, so we got to give props to Dom Mysterio in that regard. And you know, it was just, it was okay. It was disappointing, but I didn't really have incredibly high expectations anyway. So that's why I give it a C. I don't think it was a failure per se, but I think they also could have ended it much differently, because I'm gonna go back to how the post match segment was very awkwardly produced. Like, what was with the split screen of the vignette package and then his facial reaction to watching it in real time? Like, what was the purpose of that? I don't need to see his face while I'm trying to watch the vignette because I'm a viewer at home. And even the fans in attendance are probably like, man, this is a tear-jerking moment. Like, hopefully Cena addresses us because we paid thousands of dollars to be here. And then he just leaves. So, yeah, and I think that didn't leave the best taste in the fans' mouths. He should have. I would have booked it like him, like Joel said. He should have cut a promo, like a goodbye promo, like a formal goodbye promo. Like, thank you for everything that you've supported me on. I care about you. I always will. And the way I said never give up, I want you to take that motto with you, whatever you do in your life, with your families. And for those of you who grew up watching me as children, you're all adults now. Some of you probably are grandfathers and whatnot. Not to that extent, but you get what I'm saying. It's just something like that would have been, I think it would have at least given the fans more closure. There was a real lack of closure because they were already disappointed with the way he submitted. And then we get a video package and then he just walks off. And then, like Joel said, we see the person who's the last person we want to see, which is Triple H. So, yeah, C-. That's where I'm at.
You dropped it down. As you're talking, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. The more I'm talking my shit, yeah, like a C, definitely no higher than a C. They could have done a lot better, especially given that it was John Cena, not just any other Joe Schmo. So
that's my point, though, is that because it's John Cena, I was expecting, like, they started us off, like Lewis said, with this heel run, which could have been epic. Like, it could have been the greatest thing booking wise since probably Bloodline stuff, right? Like, they could have done it up. They could have. And then all the WWE trying to involve all these stars and getting The Rock super involved and having all this stuff backfire they were not prepared for. And I mean, it's not their fault, right? The plan was probably to have all that stuff work, right? And you wanted that to work, but it didn't. And creative was just not creative enough to come up with a rebound for that. And then we just got his, retirement tour and matches, and some of the matches were great. And and like Lewis said, the best thing that came out of this was Dominic Mysterio getting put over heavy, right?
Yeah.
Dom was over, but now he was like over. And their match was the best match in my opinion, was the most entertaining match in the entire series of matches that he's had on this tour. I thought the Gunther and the Gunther match was good for what it was, like you guys said, because it was a John Cena constructed type match, right? Heel just does simple moves and tries to chop him down and destroy him, and John Cena comes back and John doesn't win, right? He taps out. And the tap out I wasn't mad about. I was a little upset at first, but I was hoping maybe we would have gotten I would have been good with a pin. The tap was just very just a little anticlimactic for me. Like I don't know. I was just expecting more, being it that it's John Cena's final match ever. So, I'm sticking with my D. I think it deserves that. I don't think it can go any higher. But all the marks out there are probably going to be like, "What are you talking about? You don't know. John Cena's my childhood hero." All this stuff. I don't care if he was your childhood hero, right? We're talking about pro wrestling here, and in the scheme of pro wrestling, top to bottom, final run, just didn't live up to my expectations. So,
man, that's
John
fair.
Cena of it all, the John Cena of all, y'all, fellas. I'm going to tell you another thing that's not living up to my expectations. I'm gonna tell you another thing that's not living up to my expectations, and I'm gonna share it with you right now, and that's your boy the Usos. Fellas, after this past Monday Night Raw, the Usos versus the New Day, I felt like I was watching the Usos on their retirement tour. They looked like crap. Jimmy looks out of shape. Jay looks gassed out of his mind. They look slow. The moves were super choreographed. New Day still can go. You put the New Day up against somebody that can go with them. I think the New Day could give you some matches. They still look in shape. I think they can go. But your Usos here? Just all this stuff and kissing babies and holding babies while they're doing the yeeting. Fellas, I got to tell you, I think this tag team run is going to be trash. I think it's not going to be entertaining. I think people are going to start realizing that Jay had his moment. The company just wasn't behind it. And they said, "Yo, we're going to just throw you back with your brother because your brother is struggling. We don't know what to do with Jimmy." And Jimmy seems like he was eating and catering a lot. Fellas, where are you at with the Usos? Because, man, I don't care about them. I don't care about them right now. I just don't.
I gotta say, man, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued, not because I'm excited to see them on TV like that. I'm intrigued to see just how much mileage WWE can get out of these two going into 2026, because I'm starting to get the sense that they've exhausted all options with the Usos. And we got to remember, Jimmy and Jay have been with this company a long time. They have been with this company for over 15 years. We've seen them with the face paint. We've seen them turn into street Samoans, battle rapping. We saw them when they were in their in-ring prime, when they were pretty much the counterparts of the Young Bucks, when the Young Bucks were doing their thing over in Japan and ROH and all that. Then we got Royal Rumble winner Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, World Heavyweight Championship winning Jey Uso. The Usos were the first ones to main event and win the tag team titles at WrestleMania, in the main event, I should say. I mean, I'm sorry. They were the first ones to defend, because Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens won that match. Yeah. But But yeah, they were the first tag team to go into a main event as champs. But yeah, part of the bloodline story. Like, what more is there to do? How can the Usos reinvent themselves next year? And that's why I say I'm intrigued, because I'll be honest with you, these days I'm very ambivalent towards either one of them. I mean, I didn't really care for Jimmy this year to begin with, just because like he wasn't doing anything. Oh, and did I mention they also did brother versus brother with these two?
Which was trash though. That didn't,
You know what I'm
didn't
saying?
work.
So
Yeah.
And that
It,
didn't
like,
work.
it was very forgettable. So
exactly. It was very forgettable. So what more can they do to make the fans that much more interested in them? You know, and I think the whole Yeet thing is more over because of the crowd engagement with the theme song, and it's just something cool for the fans in attendance to do.
Right.
But like, I wonder how many fans out there are really saying, yeah, Jey Uso was my favorite wrestler,
Right.
or Jey Uso's in my top 3 or top 5. You know, I was excited for him at the very beginning of the year when he won the Royal Rumble match, because WWE struck while the iron was hot. However, it's grown stale, to say the least. But then they started doing the whole Jey Uso getting frustrated with his losses. So I'm just intrigued. Like, are we getting a long term tag team run, or is this going to be like a once in a blue type thing for special occasions? Is Jimmy next to be pushed into the main event? Is Jay going to turn on Jimmy and Jay turns heel? So 2026 might just be like the last year where the Usos are interesting. I don't know.
I agree.
Just saying.
That's interesting, man. I gotta agree with Coyote, man. I was watching Raw and I was watching that match, and I'm just like, you cannot, like, these two teams, the New Day and the Usos, I believe are either top 2 or top 5, like in most championships won,
Right.
tag
Something
team
crazy.
championships
Yeah.
in WWE, something like that. So I'm like looking at them and I'm like, yo, the difference in these two teams, like Kofi and Xavier Woods, I think are arguably in the best shape of their careers.
Mhm.
They're ripped. The Usos are completely not.
No.
they look like, I don't even know how to say that. They look like the not to be offensive, but they look like the fat kid at the pool, bro. They wear they wearing their t-shirts while they wrestle. They look like they out of breath. They look like they don't know what they're doing. And it's so funny to me because I'm gonna bring it back to the AEW haters out there. A lot of people will be like, I hate the way the Young Bucks wrestle. It's so choreographed. It's so this. It's so that. And I'm like, yo, I bet you what those fans think the Young Bucks look like is what that Uso match
Exactly.
looked like
Yeah.
on Monday. Because that Uso, oh my god, the way they were hitting super kicks
Yeah, man.
without fully like extending their legs, it's like they're lazy wrestlers. I think that's what bothers me. They're lazy wrestlers. They don't commit to the moves fully. Get that.
Need a little, yeah. You need a little Haters Club music, man.
Funny enough, the Hater Club was created because of Jey Uso.
Yo,
Originally.
That's true.
Originally because of Jey Uso. And throughout the year, I went all the way. I did a 180, became a Jey Uso fan. I was like, all right, I kind of like it. I get it. Now I'm all the way back. I'm all the way back to I hate Jey Uso.
A full 360.
I feel like there's a weird like when you're comparing these two teams, like I said, the New Day and the Usos, for some reason, the New Day, I feel like, have reinvented themselves this year.
Mhm.
They did the whole heel turn with Big E. It went nowhere. Even though they seem to be in great shape, like I said, they seem to be willing to work every week. They're there every week. They're cutting promos backstage, but they don't get TV time. Meanwhile, the Usos just get back together and they get the push. They get the win on Monday already. Like, I feel like there's like this weird, like, the New Day should be in the position where the Usos are in. They obviously are working on themselves. They're not lazy. You could tell by their bodies they're not lazy. And I know, not every wrestling fan is a body guy or whatever, but it's part of the job, right? You're supposed to look good on TV. So why are we rewarding these guys? In my opinion, the only reason that this team keeps getting rewarded is because of who they're related to. Roman Reigns, The Rock, that family of Samoans where you're always going to have a spot in WWE. But like Lewis said, I don't know what else do you do with this team? Are you going to get them another championship win? Does that really matter at this stage in their career? Are we going to do another WrestleMania match between these two when the first one was such a failure? Like, it's almost like, I don't even know what's the point of this. Like, I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm just over it.
That's the only thing I can see the Usos doing this, getting back together and doing this whole tag team thing again, is to run back that terrible match they had at WrestleMania.
Like they got to make up for it.
I think they want to make up for it. I think they both know it wasn't good. The fans have told them it wasn't good. Everyone knows it wasn't good. And I think they want to run that back. And that's why they're doing this. Because like you said, another championship makes no sense, makes no difference. Who cares? There's barely any tag teams for them to even go against that's even credible. So what is this for? To me, this is to get Jay to turn heel, and Jay and Jimmy will happen sometime between at Mania. They're probably going to do it at Mania. So that's my prediction, is that this is the only this is a means to an end, and the end is to get us to a Jay and Jimmy part 2. That's probably what I'm predicting is going to happen. And I don't even want to see that. I definitely don't want to see that anymore. From seeing what they did on that match with the New Day, and the New Day couldn't make them look good. And imagine them two going at it right now. Like it would look like you're watching a VHS tape in like
that plan.
Like
that plan. If that's the plan, that stinks. Stinks worse than the fish market, bro. Like that is not. Nah, that ain't it.
Lewis, it's not
I really hope. I really hope that's not the plan.
But think about it. What is the reason? What's the point?
I don't
know. I find that hilarious, Quixote, that like you were saying. So you're telling me Jey Uso would turn heel and Jimmy would be the face? Like, who would care about that?
No one would care, but I'm telling you.
Like, okay,
what a good point.
Jay could be a decent heel, right? But Jimmy has done nothing for me to rally behind as a top baby face. Like, what has Jimmy Uso done as a singles act? That's why I think that fucking idea is terrible, man.
He's done zero.
That's Basuda, bro.
Basuda, listen, man. I'm telling you, there is no other reason to do this. Creative doesn't care about the Usos right now. So they're like, listen, if y'all really want this match, this is how we're going to do it. Y'all tag team. Jay turns, Jimmy, we're going to run this back at WrestleMania. That's the only again, no one cares about winning tag team titles in WWE because those tag team titles don't mean anything. Sure. And there's barely any teams. Who are they going to wrestle? The
only thing
Alpha Academy, Tozawa.
The only thing,
come on, man.
The only match I could see them building to like would be Lucha Bros versus Usos. You get that match, cool. It's still like it's not gonna be as good as like a Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks match. So like it's gonna be their version of that.
It's not gonna be that good.
Yeah, it won't be that good. And let's say they do go the route that you're saying, and Jimmy or Jay turns on one of the other ones. Jay can't cut a fucking promo, man. He can't. His promos are trash. Bro. It's so bad. Like he forgets his lines. He just eats in the middle of it. Bring it back.
Yeah, I'm bringing it back.
Like I will give Jimmy props here because I feel like Jimmy is a better promo than Jay. And it's funny because when they're together, Jay automatically gets better. I think it might be a confidence thing or something. But like when he's with his brother, you could tell that Jay feels more comfortable on the mic. Maybe because they're like splitting lines, so he doesn't have to remember as much or something. But Jay's promos are so bad. Like someone show me a good Jey Uso promo. Maybe there's one out there, but I haven't seen one yet.
I got nothing.
So how are they even gonna run a program between those two guys? Like,
Good point.
Like I don't know,
Good
man. I'm guessing they get the tag titles and then they face the Lucha Bros at WrestleMania or something, and then I don't know what you do
I
with them
forgot
after
about
that.
the Lucha Bros. It depends on the timeline of these injuries, bro.
Yeah, because
I don't
Penta's
know.
injured. Yeah.
If
Yo.
they're not back in time, I can't. I don't think they're going to run with it. But that's a good point. Listen, Jay. We all know Jay can't cut promos, and listening to Jay cut a promo is painful and embarrassing. Like, it makes me cringe. You ever feel like you feel embarrassed for the person when they're talking?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be problematic twice. But it's like when you were in school and they picked the wrong kid to read. That's what it feels like.
Yo.
That's what it feels like. That is,
and everybody in the class is like, "Oh man, we here for a long time."
Like, it goes Jay. Oh man, yeah. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. Yeah, Jimmy's always been the better promo. He's got much more.
That shit is wild,
and charisma on that mic. Yeah, that's what.
And to think, back in 2018, the Usos versus the Young Bucks was a legitimate dream match, and now all these years later, like, I'm gonna just say this on a side note, but I don't appreciate any type of Young Bucks slander. The Young Bucks changed the game for tag team wrestling and indie wrestling, whether people want to fucking acknowledge that and give them credit for it or not. Like, they did. They were very, very instrumental in, well, first of all, AEW launching, but they were very instrumental in that exposure to other promotions outside of WWE. So, I mean, that's just like a side rant, but I can't stand when people are like, the Young Bucks ain't shit, the Young Bucks can't wrestle, it's spotty wrestling, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like, if you think the Usos are the fucking gold standard of tag team wrestling, I mean, come on. No way.
Well, the Usos, we'll see what happens in 2026 with the Usos. Hopefully not too much, because I'm really getting tired of seeing them. But we'll see what happens in 2026. Fellas, speaking of 2026, we are coming to the end of 2025. And we have two companies right now who are at the top of the mountain in terms of pro wrestling in the United States. And we got WWE and we got AEW. Fellas, AEW, WWE 2025. Best booking decisions for both companies this year. Off the top of my head, with WWE, I was gonna say it could have been John Cena and the heel turn. It could have been that.
It could be.
It could have been. I can't. We got this. Lewis, when you made this rundown, I thought to myself, I was like, damn, I don't know if I got anything for WWE. I don't know if there's anything that this year really stood out in terms of best booking decision. Like with AEW, I can say it could be a few things. It could be Hangman winning the championship. It could be that, in my opinion, the introduction of the women's tag team titles, because I think a lot of women are going to get some shine, some time, some reps. Yeah. I think that may be one of the most solid booking decisions for that division, because of the women and the women that are in it and the reps that they're going to get, the airtime and all that stuff. But where y'all at? I want to hear some of your thoughts, man. Best booking decisions so far, or for 2025, AEW, WWE. Joel, what you got? You got anything?
Man, I'm really trying to think of something for WWE, and I'm trying hard.
Like, I'm really trying, like, no lie.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of with WWE is, I would say and I don't even know where to like pinpoint where, but I would just say the push that they've given to Dom Mysterio. The winning the Intercontinental Championship, winning the AAA Mega Championship, just becoming a pretty prominent storyline on every Monday Night Raw. Yeah, I believe they have a really good gem in Dom Mysterio. I hope they don't like mess it up. I don't know how you can. It seems like he's a lock for like maybe future main eventer status.
Yeah.
Who knows? So I would say I would give Dom, Mysterio in general best booking of WWE. For AEW, like you said, there's a lot that you could pick. They had a really great year this year. Honestly, I think the continuation of the Death Rider storyline, not letting the fans get to them with everybody shitting on it originally, and then by the end of it became a really good story, and it's still ongoing and it's still pretty good. Like the Death Riders are kind of getting over in a way of like I could see them becoming baby faces one day, like because they're just badasses now. So, like, they're not holding the title hostage anymore. It's like they're just a legit group of badasses. So I think that's a cool thing. But I would say for AEW, I'm gonna say the Continental Classic is their best booking decision. I feel like honestly, it might be in the creation of AEW. I think the Continental Classic is probably their most, and I know it's basically a copy of the G1. Right. But the fact that they were able to bring it over to North America and explain it to the fans enough so that people understand the concept. I remember the first year they did, people were like, what is this? People didn't understand like a round robin tournament. They didn't understand points and stuff. Yeah. Now they're just putting on banger matches every single week. You got Wednesday, you got Saturday. It's become like appointment viewing for me. I'm watching these Continental Classic matches and I'm just like, yo, the level of talent in this company is incredible. I'm happy that they're able to showcase it, and they're not afraid to book in a way where someone takes a loss. Like Moxley has lost on this tournament. Claudio Castagnoli has lost, even though he's the CMLL World Champion. Freaking Okada has lost, and he's Okada. You know, like they're not afraid to lose.
Kyle Fletcher
took a loss to Speedball in one of the best matches of the year. Darby Allin took a loss in the first match. Like they're building these people up. They like obviously we all know every wrestler in AEW is pretty good, but now you're building these new stars. You're building a Kevin Knight. You're building a Kyle Fletcher more. You're building a Speedball Mike Bailey. You're letting them showcase their talent, and the crowd is eating it up. The internet's eating it up. I feel like the Continental Classic is such a perfect tournament style. A perfect wrestling tournament for AEW because it is where the best wrestle, and they're literally just showcasing this is where the best wrestle. And we don't even have Ospreay in this tournament.
That's true.
We don't have Swerve in this tournament. We don't have Hangman in this tournament. We don't have Samoa Joe, Kenny Omega. Like there's the amount of talent in AEW is so ridiculous. And then going to what Coyote said about the women division and now the tag team titles. I hope next year or the year after they do a women's Continental Classic too, because I think that would be incredible as well. And like just honestly, you should just replicate whatever you're doing with the men on the women's side. And I think AEW is gonna be like the sky's the limit, man. Like once people start actually paying attention to AEW, and they realize that they've been being fed a very bare minimum product in WWE for so long, I think WWE is gonna have to like really pick up and be like, okay, we need to actually start showcasing wrestling again. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, those are good, man. Yeah. I'll start with WWE. Yes, WWE was very challenged this year in 2025 in terms of like booking, creative decisions. I would have, like you, Quixote, said the John Cena heel turn just because of the enormity surrounding it, and that was like a legit oh my god, holy shit type moment for me. I got up out of my seat and like couldn't stop screaming at it at the TV when it unfolded. But it wasn't a good booking decision because there was no payoff. But I will say, booking wise, it didn't pan out long term because he got injured. But I think the one that stands out the most to me for 2025 is Seth cashing in at SummerSlam. The whole swerve with the crutches and the visual of him dropping the crutches, and then like you couldn't help but be excited because I know like a lot of people called it like, oh, watch this be a ruse. But yeah, it was so well executed and it got the live crowd to pop. It got me to pop at home. That was a moment that really stood out in 2025 and further solidified why Seth Rollins is one of the all-time greats at this point. So if I had to pick a well booked moment this year, definitely Seth Rollins cashing in at SummerSlam and winning the world title, all for Phil Brooks, nonetheless. For AEW, this is always going to be a special moment because I was in attendance for it. But I think in just the grander scheme of things of the redemption year, 2025, I think is really going to be when we pinpoint AEW's history of like how they had their ebbs and flows from their launch. 2025 is truly going to be that pivotal year where it was a turning point. It was like their redemption year. And Hangman Page getting back on top of the mountain and winning the world title and dethroning Jon Moxley was huge. Yes.
That was huge. And we all said we were all like,
right,
man, like we thought about it, but no, it was the right thing to do. It was the right booking decision to do, man.
Yeah, and I think most fans wanted it to be Moxley versus Ospreay at All In Texas, but knowing what we know now, it wouldn't have been a practical thing to do because he was wrestling through injuries. So I didn't think they probably didn't want to give him that moment knowing that he was going to go away for a little bit. But when Hangman Page was announced, I was like, okay, let's see what they do. I mean, it is his home state after all. But man, oh man, the program was good, but the match itself was fantastic. And it was like pitch perfect storytelling and the perfect ending. Like just making Jon Moxley tap like that and just choking him out with a chain and just the visual of him like just wearing the crimson mask. And it was great. Like the live reaction, being there in attendance, it was fucking phenomenal. Like Darby Allin coming out from the heaven, and you had fucking Bryan Danielson running in. Like that to me was such a well booked moment for AEW in a year full of well booked moments. I mean, you can go down the list. Fucking Toni Storm and Mariah May putting on one of the all-time great women's.
Forgot that was this year. Holy shit!
Yeah, I know, right? Like that was only this in March, but so many great moments for AEW. But that was the one that stood out to me. Hangman Page becoming world champion at All In.
Good stuff. Yeah, man. I forgot that Mariah and Toni Storm was March.
That was AEW Revolution, my friends.
Yeah, wow.
It's been a year, man.
Wow,
that's funny.
I agree with you, Lou. This was a pivotal year for AEW, man. This was the turnaround year that we all was hoping for because last couple of years was looking dark, But 2026 looks good, man, because we got TNA now with the TV deal, AMC, 30 mil. They could get some production props. They could get maybe a couple more signees, some producers in the back. They can elevate that product.
They can get Andrade.
Listen,
if Andrade shows up. If Andrade shows up on the first episode of TNA on AMC, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT, bro. He's the GOAT, bro.
Yeah.
If he somehow
shows up on TNA television, it's crazy.
That would be fun.
2026 with WWE, who knows where they're gonna go. They're starting off hot with Saudi Arabia hosting WrestleMania. I mean, Royal Rumble, which is gonna be interesting. And then you got we're on the road to WrestleMania from there. Texas Nevada, Las Vegas part 2.
Yes,
part 2, the sequel.
I have fellas, hear me out. I'm gonna make a hot take before we end. I'm predicting right now, WrestleMania. This WrestleMania will probably equal or be worse than last year's WrestleMania. I'm saying it right now. Oof. I don't think that this WrestleMania is going to be any good. And it's just a feeling I'm getting. I just don't know why. But last year was just... They could have put that on Peacock and said, hey, this is just a weekly special. It did not feel like Mania. The only thing that felt like Mania was all the money they spent on those damn seats and the pyro and stage and all that stuff. But there was nothing special about it. This year, I just feel like I just don't have any faith in TKO and WWE right now. I just don't know if they're going to do it for the fans. I don't know if they're going to give them what they deserve in terms of spectacle, matches, all that good stuff. We may get 5 match cards on both nights, 6 match cards on both nights. That is crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, you'll get the spectacle, but in terms of everything else, like you'll get the production. Like that's a no brainer.
Yeah.
As far as like
that, then you're good.
Yeah, as far as like the match quality and the outcomes, I mean, that's a shit. That's going to be a very interesting topic in the spring of 2026, man.
But AEW 2026, I think this might be the best year yet. I'm going to say right
could be
the best year yet.
Yeah, man.
They
we
got
Ospreay back healthy.
Back healthy.
Yeah.
MJF is back.
Yeah.
Swerve is back.
Yeah.
Samoa's doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hangman is hot. Like
the women are doing their thing.
The women are doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mercedes, Mina, like if AEW ain't hot this year, there's no reason. They need to go back into bigger arenas, make it a slow transition, go into your bigger arenas in your bigger towns, of course, your bigger cities. Don't rush it, but I think that needs to be a plan for 2026, if anything. So we'll see, man. Probably the best booking move they made in 2025 was also going to smaller venues in the beginning because it made the product look special, different. Yeah. Yes, it wasn't full of like 90,000, but it was good for that product. The crowds was hot. The arenas was dope and the different looks. You know, that was probably a good move on their part.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, man, fellas, listen. This is episode 115. Any final thoughts before we end here? The last show before the end of the year.
No, man. Want to give a final shout out to the fans. Well, first and foremost, shout out to you gentlemen for sticking it out through the year. You know, I have these wonderful co-hosts of On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, and we're going to continue that momentum and then some in 2026. But I want to give a real moment of gratitude to anybody who supported us on social media. You know, we've seen large gains in the amount of followers on Instagram. We really ramped up with the content on TikTok. And we're looking forward to seeing where we go. You know, we all have our lives and, you know, our individual things. So we do this as a hobby, and we hope that whoever's listening and engaging with our content gets something out of it.
Yep. I agree, man. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and being with us, man. Joel, any final words?
Just happy holidays to everybody. And I'm feeling a little bit like Saint Mick in this hat, so Foley is God, baby. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
Yeah, man. Listen, thank you for joining us. Episode 115, y'all, on the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Until next year. Peace.
You have just listened to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, a Scriptly adapted production. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at On the Mark Wrestling. And email us on onthemarkpodcast@gmail.com.